She says, obviously I'll declare the value of them, but they weren't tickets you were able to buy. You mean they weren't tickets you were inclined to buy? So security arrangements, therefore she can't go like anyone else. Well, requiring security, Rachel, doesn't mean to say you can't pay for your own tickets.
A Labour MP has just publicly condemned Rachel Reeves for accepting corporate freebies while preaching fiscal responsibility. This unprecedented internal party conflict.
Let's move on to Rachel from Accounts and indeed the Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner. Now, Rachel from Accounts, Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, incredibly a couple of weeks ago pitched up at a Sabrina Carpenter big venue over in East London. She excuses that by saying that she requires certain security situations, concert with her daughter, having accepted £600 worth of free corporate box tickets. She now excuses that. That was at London's O2 venue.
Exposes the growing divide between Labour's public face and private actions. While ordinary Brits struggle to pay their bills, Reeves enjoys 276 theatre tickets and exclusive corporate boxes at concerts, all for free. The most shocking part, her own colleague says he'd never accept such perks, creating a damning contrast that's impossible to ignore. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
She's enjoying the high life while she plans to cut potentially 50,000 civil service jobs to allegedly save £1.5 billion. So she's got those 600 quid after all the free gear Kia argument, the big storm that went on several months back. She does this. I mean, has she got no judgment at all? So while she's contemplating putting 50,000 people out of work, she's enjoying the high life. She comes from a household with a husband. They earn about £320,000 a year between them coming into that house.
While the nation tightens its collective belt under record tax burdens, our esteemed Chancellor appears to have different standards for herself. Rachel Reeves, the woman entrusted with Britain's financial future, has been quietly enjoying luxury perks that would make the average working Briton's eyes water. But the real question is, who's ultimately footing the bill for these extravagances? Let's follow the money trail. On December 27th, while many families were calculating how to pay their winter fuel bills after Christmas expenses, Reeves was enjoying high culture at the National Theatre. Not just one show, mind you, but two. Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest, and an adaptation of Neil Streatfield's Ballet Shoes. The value, a cool £276 in free tickets. But the Chancellor's cultural enrichment didn't stop at the theatre. Reeves also managed to secure herself a spot in a corporate box at the O2 Arena for a Sabrina Carpenter concert.
By the way, she was forced to vow not to accept any more complimentary clothes from Labour's Dr. Feelgood donor, Lord Wahid Ali, and she can't pay for her own concert tickets. You have to pay for yours, I have to pay for mine. Why doesn't the Chancellor pay for hers? This is revolting, I think, after it emerged that while Free Gear Kia took about, I think it was about £28,000 worth of free stuff, Rachel took £7,500 worth of free clothes.
An event where some desperate fans were forking out nearly £1,000 for resale tickets, all this while presenting herself as the guardian of fiscal responsibility and prudent economic management. The timing couldn't be more tone-deaf. During a festive period when ordinary families were making difficult choices between heating and eating, between presents for the children or paying essential bills, our Chancellor was accepting luxury handouts worth hundreds of pounds. This disconnect between Reeves's public persona and private indulgences raises serious questions about her understanding of the struggles facing everyday Britons. What's particularly notable is the unprecedented internal conflict this has created within Labour's ranks. Matthew Pennycook broke ranks with an unusually direct criticism of his colleague. "I don't personally think it's appropriate. If I want to go to a concert at the O2, I'll pay for it." This rare public rebuke from within her own party highlights the growing unease about Reeves's behaviour, even among her political allies.
She was forced to say no more of that. But obviously when it comes to free concert tickets, hey, she's still got her snout in the trough. Should she be getting all of this free stuff?
We must also consider who provided these generous gifts and what they might expect in return. Corporate boxes at major venues aren't handed out without purpose. They're investments in relationships, access, and potential influence. In the murky world of political favour trading, these luxury experiences represent far more than their face value. The question voters should be asking is whether the Chancellor's budget decisions might be influenced by those same corporate interests who provide these perks. When policy decisions worth billions are being made, a few £100 in theatre tickets or £1,000 concert experiences might seem like small change, but they open doors and create relationships that the average taxpayer can never access. What makes this situation even more galling is Reeves's substantial personal finances. As Chancellor, she currently earns approximately £91,346 annually, a figure that most Britons can only dream of. Yet apparently this generous taxpayer-funded salary isn't enough for Reeves to purchase her own entertainment. And it gets worse. This controversy comes as MPs are set to receive a 2.8% pay increase, pushing their salaries to £93,000. This raise alone will cost taxpayers an additional £1.66 million, money that could be directed toward vital public services, instead of padding already comfortable parliamentary pockets. The true hypocrisy emerges when we contrast Reeves's silent acceptance of these perks with her plans for the rest of the country. While enjoying free luxury entertainment, she's simultaneously planning to slash public spending and potentially cut up to 10,000 civil service jobs. These are real people with families, mortgages, and their own winter bills to pay, yet they don't have access to corporate boxes or complimentary theatre tickets when times get tough. Perhaps most telling is Reeves's complete silence on these accusations, despite growing criticism from both opposition and, unusually, from within her own party. The Chancellor has offered no explanation, no justification, and certainly no apology for accepting these freebies while planning austerity measures for everyone else. Let's be clear, this scandal goes much deeper than just a few fancy nights out. The true outrage lies in the stunning disconnect between what Reeves preaches and how she personally behaves. You simply cannot lecture the British public about tightening their belts while simultaneously accepting luxury perks that most hardworking people could never dream of affording. Recent polling confirms what many have suspected. There's a growing credibility gap between Labour's public messaging and their private indulgences. The public's trust is eroding as they witness this Chancellor accept expensive hospitality packages while simultaneously planning harsh cuts. As Reeves prepares her emergency budget, she might want to consider that economic policies crafted from corporate boxes and theatre stalls might not reflect the needs of ordinary Britons. Perhaps the question we should all be asking is this: when Rachel Reeves makes tough financial decisions, exactly whose interests is she really serving?